Welcome to Meganet Gaming, and the second review for today is going to be on a series we have yet to cover, although the series will end up appearing on this list at least a couple times. And we do have a game that was developed by one of the original creators of this series, or at least this game in particular, and that is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Castlevania Symphony of the Night was developed by Konami, published by Konami, and is available on the PlayStation, Sega Saturn, PSP, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation Vita. It's the Vania part of Metroidvania. It's a platform adventure game with some action and role-playing elements. This game was released March 20th of 1997, and even though it didn't receive, it is released for the PlayStation in North America, but it didn't receive a US release on the Sega Saturn though. It was ported to the Sega Saturn 1998 for the, in Japan it is ported to the Sega Saturn in 1998. Basically, it begins during the ending of the previous game in the series, Castlevania Rondo of Blood, where Richter Belmont confronts and defeats Count Dracula. 4 years later, in 1796, Richter goes missing and Dracula Castle reappears. Alucard arrives at the castle to destroy it, meeting Maria Reynard, who once fought along Richter and is now searching for him. Alucard also meets Richter, who now claims to be the new lord of the castle, but he's convinced that Richter's under somebody else's control. Alucard confronts Richter and learns he plans to resurrect Dracula, so the two can fight for an eternity. During the fight, Alucard breaks the spell controlling Richter, and Dracula's servant Shaft appears and tells him that Dracula will be resurrected soon. And this is basically where the game starts off. But the story isn't all that important. No, I guess a little bit important, but as far as Castlevania games go, it's the environment and the gameplay combination that matters most. So let's go ahead and get this up and running so I can demonstrate the game. And here we go. And we are going to be discussing the PlayStation 1 version. However, I have played an emulated version of the Sega Saturn release, and the score applies to both games. This is a game I do not currently own for the PlayStation 1, but it's one I'll definitely add to the collection. And it's one I've previously owned. There's cutscenes that help add to the story element that are a bit few and far between and don't get in the way of the actual gameplay. Like I said, I am doing the emulated version. The music is a bit choppy. It is running a bit slow. If I was doing this on actual hardware, the game is quite a bit quicker, and the music is absolutely beautiful, as are the environments. And there's a lot of interactivity with the environment. Controls are very fluid, and the level design is probably some of the best in a game I've seen.
Monster. You don't belong in this world.
The inclusion of voice acting.
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
The voice acting is a bit on the cheesy side. But it has some charm as well. During this time period, a lot of times for voice actors, they didn't have sufficient budgets to hire like actual voice actors. I'm supposed to lose this fight. What's that bad at this game? I'm getting beat up pretty badly. I think I'm supposed to die in this. Or maybe not. But there's quite a bit of challenge, quite a bit of exploration in the level. And like I said, some of the best level design of any 2D game I have seen. Controls are very responsive, and none of the deaths seem cheap. The collision detection is spot on. It's going to take quite a while. Somebody can't just leave. Let's demonstrate some of the gameplay for a little while. Like I said, I'm not particularly good at this game. It's been a while since I've played it. Is this the ending of the last game in the series? Actually, I haven't played it. Yeah, I think it's actually a replay of the last game. My knowledge of Castlevania games is limited to the NES versions, this game, and then there's a kind of linear, kind of like 2D, 3D, but like very 2D, I mean not 3D action adventure type game that's very confined on the PlayStation 2. It was kind of fun while I played it, but it still doesn't stand up to this game. There's some voice acting, some text. And even the screens with the text, the graphics in the background are well done. The font choices are reasonable to create the right mood in conjunction with the music and sound. It's rare to find a complete package that is this well done. this is running quite slow. And quite a variety of different beasts and other creatures to fight. As you go, you level up, gain improved skills and attributes. Out of all the 3D games of this time period, they just don't hold up all that well, and really weren't even that great at games at the time. It's just people were obsessed with 3D. Some of the games that have held up the best are the 2D games, and this is one of them. If I were to make a list of the top 20 PlayStation games ever released, this would definitely make the list. I don't know about top 10, but it would definitely be in consideration the top 10 PlayStation games. Actually, yeah, more than likely would make a list of the top 10 PlayStation games. So that's a brief demonstration of a poorly running emulated version of the Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is a game I highly recommend for anybody that's a fan of 2D games, of action role-playing games, of hack and slash games, and of the so-called Metroidvania games, or just a fan of good games in general. This is one of the classics that everybody should have in their collection. I'm going to give it one of the not so elusive, but still one of the top tier award that I give a game, which is the Diamond Egg. At some point I'll come up with more creative names for these. And that's for both the PlayStation 1 and the Saturn port, which is quite a good port of the game. Quite a faithful port. So yeah, there you have it. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I'm putting it at number 10 of on our list, up with some other classic games everybody should have in their collection. Hope you enjoyed the review. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day.